Picture this. It's a quiet afternoon at a remote Russian airfield deep behind the lines. The sky is empty. The threat is supposed to be miles away, beyond layered air defenses that have taken decades and billions to build.
New Russian drone strikes burned down a rail station in central Ukraine overnight as Moscow launched another major assault.
For 6 hours, a Buck M3 air defense operator has stared at a screen showing nothing but static and the occasional bird. He's bored, complacent, trusting in the system. Then, at 13:47, his world explodes. 7 contacts, materializing out of nowhere at 42 kilometers. Crawling toward him at the speed of a slow car. This isn't a wave of supersonic jets. It's something far stranger, far smarter, and it's about to expose a fatal flaw in one of the most sophisticated air defense networks ever built. Welcome to the breakdown. Today, we're inside a Ukrainian drone swarm's surgical strike on Korsak Airfield, a mission that weaponized psychology, exploited billion-dollar tech weaknesses, and proved that in modern war, the cheapest drone can defeat the most expensive missile if you know how the enemy thinks. 13:47 hours, the northwest approach. 7 Ukrainian UJ-26 Beaver drones lift off from a hidden field. Their target isn't a command bunker or a fuel dump. It's Russia's light aircraft, Yak 52 seconds, and Cessnas retrofitted with door guns to hunt Ukrainian reconnaissance drones. Kill these, and you open the sky for your own eyes. The mission is simple. Get past 2 layers of SAMs, the medium-range Buck M3 and the long-range S-300, then destroy the aircraft on the ground. The problem? This corridor is watched by radars that can track a baseball 200 kilometers away. On paper, it's suicide. But the Ukrainians aren't playing by the old book. They've written a new one. They fly low using terrain. Their airframes are carbon fiber and plastic materials that absorb radar waves rather than reflect them. At 42 kilometers on the book operator's scope, they aren't solid blips. They're ghosts, flickering, disappearing between sweeps, dancing right at the edge of detection. The operator's hand freezes over the engagement switch. Something feels off. Every instinct, every hour of his training screams that these are too small, too slow to be real threats. Maybe they're birds, maybe system noise, but there are 7 of them and they're not turning away. Think about that moment. You're trained for years to identify supersonic missiles, strategic bombers, fighter jets. Your system is built to vaporize those. Now you're looking at returns that come and go, moving at 180 kilometers per hour. What do you do? Share your thoughts below. Would you fire $1 million missile at a ghost? 13:48 hours. The script begins. The drones aren't just flying, they're performing. 2 in the lead begin a slow, scripted climb to 2,500 meters. Not evasive, not random. A perfect, predictable ascent triggered at exactly 35 kilometers from the target. Another one starts broadcasting on 915 megahertz, mimicking the short digital bursts of a real reconnaissance drone sending data home. To the book operator, this is a flashing red light. His training is clear: prioritize emitting targets. Anything transmitting is a command node or a recon platform. High value must die. What he doesn't know is that the Ukrainians have weaponized his training. They've studied which drones Russia shoots first. They've watched previous engagements. They know his doctrine better than he does. So they've programmed their decoys to act exactly like high-value targets. The climbing drones? Bait. The transmitter? Bait. The real attack drones? They are silent, low, and carrying warheads. The operator runs the numbers. 7 targets, 6 missiles ready, 12 minutes to reload if he fires everything. Doctrine says, engage the obvious threats first, save ammunition for follow-up waves. He makes his choice. He selects the 2 climbers and the emitter, 3 missiles. The launcher pivots. 39M, 317M missiles scream out, accelerating through Mach 4, climbing to 8,000 meters, where the thin air lets them fly farther. Time to impact, 42 seconds. He watches the countdown, 40, 30, 20. First detonation at 13:48, a perfect intercept. The proximity fuse triggers at 4 meters. The warhead, a 62 kilograms fragmentation beast filled with preformed tungsten cubes, unleashes a mathematically perfect cone of destruction. It isn't random shrapnel. Every cube flies on a calculated vector designed to slice through wings, fuel lines, spars. The lead climbing drone disintegrates. 8 seconds later, the emitter drone vanishes. 2 hits, 2 kills. But the operator just made his first fatal mistake. He couldn't have known every behavior matched real threats. But those drones weren't carrying warheads. They were carrying extra fuel. They were sacrificial decoys. The Ukrainians traded 2 cheap drones for 2 expensive missiles. And, more importantly, for his attention. Meanwhile, the third missile is chasing the second climber when the remaining drones execute their next scripted line. 3 of them suddenly bunch together, flying within 50 meters of each other. The radar returns overlap, merging into one fat, juicy target on the scope. The missile seeker sees the strongest signal, the empty space where all 3 signatures combine. It detonates between them. The blast rattles the drones but doesn't destroy them. The 5 survivors immediately scatter wide. This isn't AI. This isn't a drone thinking for itself. This is prescribed choreography. Ukrainian planners, using stopwatches and previous engagement data, calculated exactly when the missiles would hit and programmed evasive maneuvers to trigger after. They're not reacting to the missile, they're following a timed script. The operator is now behind the curve. He grabs an encrypted phone. He needs to hand off the tracks to the southern battery. The system should do this automatically. Data links update every 2 seconds. But correlation requires a human. Is his track #247 the same as the other battery's track number 091? By the time 2 operators compare notes, 30 seconds are gone. In drone warfare, 30 seconds is a lifetime. 1350 hours. The seam in the system. The southern book battery has watched everything. They see 2 drones destroyed, 5 survivors spreading across 3 kilometers of sky. The operator here faces an impossible choice. Fire at everything? He has 4 missiles ready, 2 per illuminator channel. That would mean expending all his ready ammunition, leaving his sector defenseless for 12 minutes during a reload. Or pick targets? Risk letting armed drones through. Doctrine leaves no time for debate. He brings both illumination channels online. Here's the critical weakness. The Buck's fire control radar is like a searchlight. It can only paint one target at a time. To engage multiple threats, it must timeshare switching its beam between drones every 500 milliseconds. First drone gets painted, missile gets update, beam switches, second drone painted, beam switches back. Each switch is half a second where the missiles fly blind, guided only by prediction. Against fast jets, that's manageable. Against slow, maneuvering drones, those blind moments add up. The prediction error grows. The missile wastes fuel correcting. It can miss. The operator selects the 2 outer drones, threatening to flank the airfield, plus 1 in the center. He fires 3 missiles. The drones begin wild, pre-programmed maneuvers, climbing 200 meters, diving 300 meters. Never steady. During each half-second beam switch, a maneuvering drone can move 25 meters. The fire control computer predicts a straight line. When the beam returns, the drone isn't where it should be. The system corrects, overcorrects, and the missile's trajectory degrades. 1 missile finds its mark. Another decoy dies in a fireball. 2 missiles chase the maneuvering eastern drone and fail. Close detonations, but no kill. The center drone, it dives hard, vanishing below the radar horizon at 200 meters. 4 UJ-26 seconds survive, all carrying warheads, all now below 500 meters, all 60 kilometers from the target airfield. They've beaten the book network, but getting past the book was the easy part. Now comes the hard part. The S-300, 1352 hours. The S-300's dilemma. The S-300 operator has monitored the entire fight for 12 minutes. His stomach is in knots. His system is the big brother. His 64N6 Big Bird radar can see airliners heading to Istanbul, helicopters, migrating birds. It's built to kill B 52 seconds at 200 kilometers, not chase lawnmowers at treetop height. And that creates a catastrophic software flaw. Let me break it down. The S-300's fire control computer samples target position every 100 milliseconds, but it only updates missile guidance every 500 milliseconds. For an 800 kilometers per hour cruise missile, that's a 111 meter position change between updates manageable. For a 180 kilometers per hour drone, that's a 5 meter change. The algorithm interprets these tiny movements as sensor noise and filters them out. It essentially makes the slow drone invisible to proper tracking. The software expects a supersonic threat. It's being fed a slow drone. The math breaks down. It's like using a sniper scope to aim at your own boots. Still, the operator tries. He selects a drone following the M18 highway and fires a 48 N6 missile. The launch is vertical, a gravity turn. It soars to 30 kilometers altitude, cuts its motor, coasts to apogee, then nosedives back at Mach 6, becoming a kinetic bullet following a perfect parabola. Beautiful physics. It assumes the target will be where the math predicts in 85 seconds. But the drone isn't playing by physics, it's playing by waypoints. At 40 seconds to impact, the drone banks hard east toward the reservoir, a preset turn programmed by Ukrainian planners who calculated times exactly when the S-300 would engage *. The missile commands maximum deflection, but at Mach 6, you don't turn, you curve across kilometers. The intercept point is now 800 meters behind where the drone will be. The missile seeker finds empty air. Miss. The operator is reeling. Then a second visible drone climbs to 2,000 meters and accelerates. A perfect, obvious target. His finger hesitates. It's too obvious. But orders are orders. He fires. He knows it's wrong. Meanwhile, the drone that dodged the first missile dives to 50 meters and slips into the radar shadow of high-tension power lines. 330,000 volts create an electromagnetic storm. Radar pulses hit the steel towers and cables, generating hundreds of false returns. The drone's weak signature vanishes in the chaos, a whisper in the thunderstorm. The climbing drone debate never wavers. It's offering a simple trade. One $30,000 drone for one $2 million missile. The 48 N6 finds it easily and destroys it. Bait accepted. The operator fires 2 more missiles blind at predicted intercept points. Both find empty sky. 4 missiles expended, 1 drone destroyed, 3 armed drones still inbound. He makes the call to the airfield. 3 contacts, low altitude, your sector in 6 minutes, all ammunition expended. 1355 hours. The last line of defense. The airfield is supposed to be safe. It's 80 kilometers behind the lines, protected by those layered SAMs. All that's left is 1 soldier with 1 Igla-S man-portable missile. He hears the radio chatter. Drones inbound, missiles missing. He grabs the launcher from the guard shack. The sound comes first. Not a roar, a lawnmower buzz. A black cross appears in the haze. 500 meters up. 180 kilometers per hour. The Igla Seeker was built in the 1970 seconds to find jet engines burning at 800 degrees Celsius. The drone's engine runs at 300 degrees Celsius, barely warmer than sun-baked concrete. Its pusher propeller mixes the exhaust with cold air immediately. The soldier fights for a lock. The Seeker tone stutters in his earpiece. Lock, no lock, searching. The entire world is a warm blur. He fires. The missile erupts from the tube. Its Seeker scans a 40-degree cone, hunting for heat. But the drone is too low, just another warm object among buildings and pavement. The missile passes 15 meters below and self-destructs harmlessly. The soldier lowers the empty tube. 3 more dots appear, spreading into different attack vectors. He can only face one direction at a time. It's over. 1356 hours. Impact. The lead drone's optical system activates at 2 kilometers. Its camera sweeps the parked aircraft. The Ukrainians know exactly where to look from Russian pilots' own Telegram videos showing parking spots, revetment numbers, daily schedules. It finds a Yak-52 under camouflage netting. The autopilot calculates 15 degrees right, hold altitude, dive at 60 degrees. The drone rolls inverted and pulls through, accelerating under gravity. The warhead is simple, 20 kilograms of TNT surrounded by a tungsten fragmentation sleeve. No shaped charge, just blast and fragments. It arms at 200 meters. Impact. The warhead punches through the aluminum skin and detonates inside the fuel tank. Aviation fuel doesn't explode like in movies. It deflagrates a massive subsonic burn that generates crushing overpressure. The tank splits 120 liters of burning fuel spray across the revetment. Fireball. The second drone has been orbiting, watching. Its camera locks onto a Cessna's high wing profile against the flames. Same calculation, adjust heading, dive. Impact at 1357. The warhead strikes the port wing root, detonating inside the fuel tank. The wing separates, the fuselage flips, burning fuel washes across the runway. The strategic effect is immediate. These light aircraft were Russia's only effective counter to Ukrainian reconnaissance drones. With them gone, Ukrainian eyes can now operate freely, spotting for artillery, guiding longer-range strikes. 2 drones destroyed 2 planes, but they enabled dozens of future reconnaissance missions. They changed the information balance in that sector. The aftermath. By 14, the airfield is shrouded in smoke. Sirens wail. The SAM operators sit in their vehicles, listening to the damage reports over the net. They feel it, the helplessness. They fired 9 high-tech missiles. They spent tens of millions of dollars. They killed 4 decoys. 3 attack drones slipped through. 2 aircraft are destroyed. The airfield's counter-reconnaissance capability is neutralized. The Ukrainians spent maybe $200,000 on the entire swarm. The return on investment isn't just tactical, it's psychological. They proved that Doctrine can be weaponized. Radar absorbent materials and smart scripting can ghost billion-dollar systems. The seam between different SAM layers is a kill zone. Slow can beat fast, cheap can beat expensive. This wasn't a victory of mass. It was a victory of planning, psychology, and precision timing. They turned the Russians' own training, their own technology, their own engagement zones against them. This has been the breakdown. We just watched how a handful of drones exploited human decision loops, software flaws, and systemic seams to bypass a layered air defense network and strike at its heart. For the analysts in the comments, what was the single point of failure? Was it the book operator taking the bait? The S300 software filter? The rigid engagement zones that created handoff delays? Let me know what you think. Was this a failure of technology or a failure of doctrine? And tell me what you want next. Most requested topic wins the next video. If you want more breakdowns of how modern warfare is being rewritten by cheap smart tech, smash that like button, subscribe, and hit the bell. The old rules are obsolete. The new ones are being written by the side that learns faster. The revolution isn't coming, it's here, and it's buzzing at 180 kilometers per hour. Bye for now.